Hey Darius, I just wanted to let you know that I think I've told you in the past that I had diabetes type 2, and since I've been practicing the method and going through these meditations, I just had another A1C that was normal. I, I feel like I've kicked this diabetes. So A1Cs, it tests your blood sugar over a 3-month period. And my last three have been between 5 and 7. Before I was doing any of this, my A1C was a 12. I was on insulin and medications. I went cold turkey on the insulin and just decided I was done with it. I've been talking to my cells. I just want to thank you for what you're doing for everybody, waking us up to everything, the truth of who we are, the truth of this reality. This has changed my life. Thank you. Doing this rice experiment and the experiment on my health with the diabetes, it's mind-blowing. And deep down, I already knew this. Deep down, I already knew this. I suppose I just wanted to prove it to myself. I challenge every single one of you to do the rice experiment. See it for yourself. See it for yourself. Because once you realize what you can do it to yourself. I feel so much better. I love myself. I never used to love myself like this. This has truly changed my life. And I want to see this for everyone. For everyone. The pharmaceutical companies, they're just in it for the money. They're not there to help you and cure you and make you better. You can do that to yourself with your thoughts and your spoken word. We were not meant to be sick. Right? I challenge you all to do the rice experiment. See it for yourself. If I can do this, anybody can do this. I treated the love jar like she was my pet. The hate jar, I treated just the opposite. You know, I said evil words to the hate jar, and I spoke love words and gave love to the love jar. And it's just amazing. Just look at that, guys. With the power of your voice. I mean, that water is so foggy and sick looking. It's getting too bright again. Anyway, I'm closing out part 1 of the rice experiment. I'm probably going to leave these going and just see how long I can take, how far I can take this. The love jar went from looking in a not so good condition to an excellent condition. I mean, that water is recoated with the power of my word and my thoughts. If we can do this to rice, what do you think we can do to the cells in our body? I'm going to conduct the rice experiment. So I started off with 2 jars. I didn't have enough rice for 3. But this jar says, I love you all over it. Some of it frontwards and some of it I wrote backwards, mirror light, so that the rice inside the jar can see. Each jar has a 1/2 cup of this Seeds of Change jasmine rice, organic. This jar says, I hate you all over it, forwards and backwards. Again, a 1/2 cup. So each 1/2 cup of rice, I'm going to add a full cup of water to each jar. So we're going to start with the I love you. This is a 1/2 cup, so I'll do 2 of these. This is filtered water. Hopefully I don't spill. 1. 2. Cute bed. Come on. Get up. There you go. Boy. All right. There's the I love you jar. Then the hate jar. Here, 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of water. 1 cup. And 2. Hate. Love. This is a good mix to get it all around. Maybe I should have stirred that with a spoon. Love you, you're so beautiful. Let's see what we do. You're so gorgeous. This is day 1. It's Thanksgiving Day of 2024. So what is that? November 28th, I think today is. The 25th was Monday in the U.S. I hope you die. You are disgusting. Ugh, you disgust me. I love you. I'm really putting my emotion into it. I love you. All right, I'm going to put you away. And it's another jar. All right, you nasty piece of crap. I'm gonna go find a spot for you. Sit and rot. All right, I'm gonna come back each day and make a recording of this. All right, today is Friday, November 29th, 2024, and it's day 2 of the rice experiment. I've got love with me. So beautiful. I love you. Each and every individual rice grain is gorgeous and full of so much love. Feel the vibration of my voice. I love you. Here we have the hate jar. You disgust me. I can't even stand looking at you. I hate you. Oh, this makes me feel so bad. I can't stand you. I hope you rot. You are rot. You don't belong. You should be exiled. I hate you. You rot in hell. I can't even stand looking at you. I just set him on the stairs temporarily until I can go back up there. But again, day 2. Be checking in tomorrow for day 3. I'm playing some 369 frequencies to my love jar. I'm hoping this will help. I will probably do this a couple times a week, but you can see the water moving from the vibration. Today is Sunday, December 1st, 2024, and it's day 4 of the rice experiment. I've got love with me. Hello, beautiful. I love you. You're so beautiful. Yes, you are. I love you. On day 4, it looks about the same that it did on day 1, except the water's a little bit more foggy from the rice, I'm assuming. But I don't see anything that looks like it's rotting or molding because you're beautiful. And you can't do that because you are love. The water is healing. Alright, here we have the hate jar. Hello, disgusting. You are ugly and I hate you. I hope you rot. You rot because you deserve it. You're nothing. You're incapable. The water that holds you is so distorted and broken. You're broken. Hate. Hate. Disgust. All right, I'm going to go put this nasty jar away. It looks about the same as the love jar. Foggy water. I don't really see anything in there that looks moldy or rotten. I haven't had a chance to play the hardcore heavy metal nasty music yet for this jar, but I will probably do that after my Zoom call tomorrow night. Yeah, still on day 6, Monday, 12/3, day 6. I just wanted to do a side-by-side comparison with the two jars. This in my right hand, oops, I'm not even on the camera. This in my right hand is love. This in my left hand is hate. Can you see the difference how the love jar is just a little bit more see-through? In fact, the hate jar almost looks like it's turning a little brown. I don't know if it's just my angle. Huh. Well, I don't want my precious love jar to be near this hate jar any longer. I'm gonna go put these away. See you tomorrow, day 7. Day 7 of the rice. Day 7 of the rice experiment. Water's looking pretty clean. There's definitely a lot more stuff at the top. But you can see this is the love jar. And you know what I noticed today was that the top doesn't even do that clicky thing anymore. And I didn't seal this, so I think that there's gases and stuff in here kind of building up. I'm surprised there's still so much water in here and that the rice hasn't soaked it up. Ooh, I just saw bubbles come up from there. But yeah, there's just a lot more floaty stuff in there. But I still don't see any mold or anything like that. Water, recoated water with the 369. It will prevent mold and rot. It's beautiful for you. You are so loved. And anybody that's going to be watching these videos will love you too. All right, I've got the hate jar here. Can you see the top of that? This lid pushes down more. It almost clicks, but doesn't. The love jar is really like hard, and I don't know if y'all can see this, but look at that thick stuff coming up. Definitely a lot more grossness happening in here. That's because you're disgusting. I hate you. Look at that. Maybe I'm too close. You can't even see through this water. And I'm not shaking it, but you can see see how there's like this, there's the rice, and then there's this layer of, I don't even know what. And then there's the water, and you can't see through that water at all. I don't know if you can see these layers. I'm going to do a full spin around. Maybe it's just the angle I have with the light coming at me, but that should be the same angle that you get on the camera. Can you see that from this way? Oh yeah, you don't really get to see that layer coming from this way. Isn't that strange? Rotten. Disgusting. I'm gonna go put you away because I can't even stand looking at you. Doing a little hate music for the rice. My girlfriend and I looked up the most evil heavy metal hate music. Some band name decided, look, they even have a devil on their cover. Never heard of these guys. but it's 12 songs in a row, so we'll let Hate spend a little time with this music. On day 14 of the rice experiment. It's been 2 weeks, 16th, and it's day 19 of the rice experiment. This jar, the rice has fluffered up quite a bit. There's a lot more rice in this jar and less water. All right, here is the Hate jar. As you can see, the Hate jar, the rice is not as fluffed up. There's a lot more water in here. More water in here. The rice experiment goes on. The target is 30 days. If I don't see any mold or rot after 30 days, I will continue the experiment until I see rot in the Hate jar. Here we are on day 28 of the rice experiment. It's Christmas Day here in the US, December 25th. So I hope you all had a beautiful Christmas. And so you can hear some pretty nasty heavy metal music playing right now. That's because I've got the Hate jar here in for a little treat. Here we go. This is what's going on with the Hate jar. Now we've come in to where the love jar is, and I've got this beautiful angel. Oh my gosh, is that a little heart? There's like a little heart right there. Look at that, it's for love. I've got some selenite and some rose quartz surrounding the love jar, because I don't know if the music can be heard in here. Getting close to the 30-day mark. So we'll do a check-in and see if we should go longer at that point. Here we go. And I know I said that I was going to run this experiment for 30 days. So we're going to just take a look at this, and then I'm going to decide if I'm going to run this experiment for a little bit longer. I could just decide to run it for another 30 days and make a part 2 of the rice experiment. And, maybe we'll see how far we can take this. I don't know if y'all can see that heart. I'll put my finger right underneath it and hope that we can get a good focus. Come in a little bit slow. But a little heart has formed in this jar. It's pretty amazing. So here she is. The love jar. We get a nice close look. The water is fairly clean on the top. The rice is pretty fluffy, from doing everything, or from, giving it so much love. All right, here we have the Hate jar. And notice the color difference between the two. The water in here is much more brown, and it's all evenly distributed throughout the jar. So I just want to point out where the 200 mark is on this jar, which is right here. So as you can see, the rice in this jar has not absorbed as much water as the love jar. And I don't know if you can see, but on the top of the water, there's like a film. I can't really tell. I don't think there's any mold or anything in here yet. But the rice has definitely more of a brown look to it. Let's put this down a little bit. Definitely more of a brown look from not absorbing as much rice. But yeah, it's looking pretty gross in there compared to the other one. The other one just looks cleaner and healthier, more absorbed by the water. But the water that's inside of you is rotten to the core. Oh yeah, did you see right when I said that, this little bubble burst up and kicked a piece of rice up like a couple millimeters. Rotten to the core. But the water that holds you is rotten to the core. It's full of hate. It's rotten because you're rotten. You have poisoned the water, and the water will poison you right back. This just goes to show the power of your words and thoughts. You know, I did a lot of research before putting this all together, and you know, I watched other videos where other people had done the rice experiment, and both jars looked about the same after 30 days, right? And then they went for it for a round 2, and, you know, they decided like, oh, maybe I should put some emotion and feeling into this, but I don't think they could really do that. They were having a hard time with trying to feel something for the rice. So what I did is I just pictured the love jar as my pet. You know, I have 2 animals. I have a bird and a cat, and I love them just like I love my children, right? They're a part of my family. So in my head, the love jar was my 3rd pet. I loved that jar, and the jar knew it, and I made sure that the jar could feel that I loved the jar. And I did just the opposite with the hate jar. You know, I played some heavy metal music by a band called Decide here. So this is the album I found. So I did a little bit of research just looking for music that was heavy metal, that was maybe a little bit satanic. And I also learned that this band supposedly has like evil subliminal messages within the album. So make sure you can get a good look at this album cover. I don't want it to be blurry, but it's got the devil on it. Can't tell if it's look at that. And the jar sat right up on top of this so that the rice on the bottom could see that image. Get that off of my screen. So yeah, after 30 days, it's not as big of a difference as what I thought it was going to be, but there's definitely a clear difference. The love jar doesn't look like it's rice that has been sitting there 30 days. You know, the hate jar looks like it's been maybe sitting out for a week or so. I don't know. But the water is definitely a much different color. And even when I hold each jar, I can feel the different frequencies that it puts off. When I hold the love jar, I can feel the love that I put into it. It almost feels like the rice loves me back. In the hate jar, I don't feel that, but I just don't feel good energy or good frequencies coming off of that jar. I can really tell that hate and madness has been put into it. Because let's say I've been pretty abusive to that jar of rice, verbally anyway. So, all right, well, I will be putting together another video because I've also been working on my health, right? So I'm going to get into another video on how I've been able to heal my diabetes through my words and my thoughts and my will. You know, I treated the love jar like she was my pet. The hate jar, I treated just the opposite. You know, I said evil words to the hate jar, and I spoke love words and gave love to the love jar. And it's just amazing. Get the brightness up here. It's just amazing the difference. Whoa, that is too much. There we go. Try that again. Just look at that, guys. With the power of your voice. I mean, that water is so foggy and sick looking. It's getting too bright again. Anyway, I'm closing out part 1 of the rice experiment. I'm probably going to leave these going and just see how long I can take, how far I can take this. The love jar went from looking in a not so good condition to an excellent condition. I mean, that water is recoated with the power of my word and my thoughts. If we can do this to rice, what do you think we can do to the cells in our body? Hey everyone, this is Amber, and I am putting together my final vlog from the rice experiment, and also an experiment on my health. So before I even started the rice experiment, I had been diagnosed with diabetes type 2. So diabetes type 2, you get from your pancreas not creating enough insulin. And so it causes your blood sugar to go really high from eating certain foods, like foods with carbohydrates and sugar and things of that nature. And so when I was diagnosed with diabetes, you know, I felt like crap. I was overweight. The weight just kept coming on. I wasn't overeating either. You know, I felt like I was eating somewhat healthy. But my average blood sugars were in the high 200s to mid to high 300s. I had my blood drawn and had my A1C tested, and it was a 12. It was either 12 or 12.5. Either way, the average blood sugar when your A1C is a 12 is 358, I think, which is a super high blood sugar. And so I had been watching stuff on YouTube, and I saw Jeff Mara had put out a video with this gentleman named Darius J. Wright. And Darius was talking about the out-of-body experience. And of course, that kind of stuff has always fascinated me. You know, anything around near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences. Anyway, as I'm watching it, Darius starts talking about sleep paralysis. And as soon as I heard him start talking about that, it really hit home, because I had sleep paralysis my entire life. You know, when I was younger, you know, I would get sleep paralysis all the time, and it happened frequently throughout my childhood and even into my 20s. It used to really scare me. So I guess I should define sleep paralysis, first of all, for those of you who may or may not know. So sleep paralysis happens to everybody every single night when you're going to sleep. When you go into deep sleep and you get into your REM sleep, when you're having dreams, you know, your body produces a chemical that paralyzes your body so that you're not up walking around acting out your dreams physically in this physical realm. And so some people wake up during this sleep paralysis stage. And so I used to wake up and my body would be completely paralyzed, and it was scary. I would see and feel entities in my room. I would see like dark shadows coming across. And it used to really scare me. So when I heard Darius talking about it and how that was the key to the out of body, I knew this to be true because I myself had been out of body during this sleep paralysis state. I didn't have control over it, and that's the difference. When you don't know what's happening, it can be very scary. I was floating out of my body, and I could see my body sleeping down on the bed. And, seeing and feeling the entities in the room, it all felt evil to me. And it appeared evil because that was my thought process. Those were my beliefs, was that it was something wrong with me and something bad was happening to me. And this just goes right into what I'm talking about, because what you think, what you believe, what you speak is your reality. And as soon as you know and understand what sleep paralysis is, and that you can actually come out of your body, your soul can leave your body during this state, you can get rid of all fear. And then it's not scary anymore. No more scary looking entities in the room. Like when I wake up and I'm in sleep paralysis, I'm excited now. Maybe too excited sometimes because it keeps me in my body. But anyway, back to your thoughts and your spoken word. So I had signed up for Darius's training, and he trains you how to come out of your body during sleep paralysis, and how to target things, and be more conscious when you're out of body, so it's not so foggy and dream dimensional space type of surroundings. So not only does Darius teach us about the AIDA method and coming out of our body, but he also teaches us who we are and the abilities that we have that have been dormant, right? And so when you speak, when you think, what you believe is true, right? So I was thinking about my diabetes and, all the medications that they have me on. My diabetes got so high when my A1C came in at a 12, they put me on insulin. So I was doing insulin every day, and I was taking pills and all kinds of medications, because when you have diabetes, not only do you have to take medication to help control the blood sugar, but they give you medications as a preventative to help support your pancreas and your kidneys and all that stuff. So I started talking to my cells, right? Talking to my cells, telling my cells that I don't have diabetes anymore. I don't believe I have diabetes anymore. So talking to my cells, and not just talking to my cells, right? You have to love yourself. You have to love your cells. You have to believe that you are not sick. And since then, my A1Cs have been dropping. So my A1C went down to like a 5.5, but I was still on insulin. And so after using this method and talking to my cells, I decided that, you know what, my A1C was a 5.5. I don't even believe I have diabetes anymore. I'm eating healthy. I don't overeat. There's no reason why I should have diabetes. And so I decided to stop the insulin cold turkey. And of course, people around me and my family thought that this was a little risky, but I didn't believe it. I told them, I don't believe I have diabetes anymore. I would meditate on this, and I noticed that I was getting more of a blue color in my eyes. My eyes never had blue in them before. My eyes were always more of a hazel color, like a brownish, greenish. But I started noticing blue coming into them. And from what I know, when you start to see more blue in your eyes, that's telling you that more of your soul and your essence is with you in this earthly realm. So I had my A1C drawn again, and it was like a 6 point something, which is still decent, right? So cold turkey on the insulin, and my A1C did not jump back up to a 12. Everyone needs to understand the power that they have. We all create our own realities. What you believe to be true is true. If you're feeling sick, if you're feeling unhappy in your life, you have the ability to turn that around. Look at what I did with the rice, right? You see the difference between putting your love into something. Both jars, I put my beliefs, thoughts, and spoken word into. The difference is in the way that I did that, right? So let's talk about the hate jar. The hate jar looks the way it does because I put negative thoughts and beliefs and spoken word into it. If that can be done to a jar of rice and water, what do you think it does to your body when you have negative thoughts about yourself? If you feel like your nose and throat are getting stuffy, dry, sore, don't think of it as being sick. Think of it as detoxing, because that's what it is. The love jar, same thing. Spoken word, thoughts, beliefs into that jar. I gave it love. I showed it love. I loved that jar. That jar was my pet. And look at the condition of that jar. Now that's what you can do to your body. I believe that my A1C did not go back up to 12 because I have healed myself with my spoken word, thoughts, and beliefs. All of us have this ability. All of us. There is not one soul in this earthly realm that cannot heal themselves with their spoken word, thoughts, and beliefs. Think about the music that you listen to, right? I've completely changed the type of music I listen to. Everything is about frequency. In fact, that's how souls communicate with each other, is frequency and thought. And so if you're listening to negative music that's talking about drugs, killing, sex, violence, that's the type of frequency you're putting into your body. That frequency will keep you sick and dormant. When you're listening to music that comes from a place of love and has words that are love, you're putting that into yourself. You know, doing this rice experiment and the experiment on my health with the diabetes, it's mind-blowing. And you know, deep down I already knew this. Deep down I already knew this. I suppose I just wanted to prove it to myself. I challenge every single one of you to do the rice experiment. See it for yourself. See it for yourself. Because once you realize what you can do it to yourself. I feel so much better. I love myself. I never used to love myself like this. This has truly changed my life. And I want to see this for everyone. For everyone. You know, the pharmaceutical companies, they're just in it for the money. They're not there to help you and cure you and make you better. You can do that to yourself with your thoughts and your spoken word. We were not meant to be sick. I challenge you all to do the Rice experiment. See it for yourself. If I can do this, anybody can do this. Let me talk about my weight before going into this. So when my A1C was at 12, I was weighing just over 200 pounds. I'm 5'3¼ . That's chunky. I've lost over 20 pounds since doing this. You know, it'll keep going because I'm not sick anymore. And I went off of the medications to do this. So can you. I'm still on a couple medications, but not for long. I'm not going to need them. Not going to need them. I'm going to continue to go to the doctors, and I'm going to continue to get my blood drawn. And eventually I won't even be doing that anymore because I won't need it. I'll know because I'll know how I feel. The whole medical field is in it for the money as well. You know, you've probably, some people out there have probably known or lost people in their life to an illness, maybe cancer, and the doctors told them, you know, this type of cancer, you're in stage 4, you know, you've got 9 months to live. And lo and behold, 9 months later, they've passed on. They've crossed over. They're deceased. The fact that the doctor is telling them with their spoken word, their thoughts, their beliefs into that person, that patient, that human, that soul believes it. They take on that belief system that they are sick and they're going to die in 9 months. I've seen cases where people just don't buy it. They just don't buy it and they end up living. They don't take on the belief system in which the doctor told them. And then they end up surviving. Guys, our abilities have been dormant for a very long time. And I'm sure everyone can feel it now. There's a huge awakening going on around in this earthly realm. And it's fucking magical. It's beautiful. Man, thank you. And I'm not saying thank you because you did something for me. Sharing your knowledge and giving us the tools we need to wake up and remember, to know what we are and what we can do. And that's what I'm thanking you for.